Hey people, Intro here, 3v3, Adventure Stronghold Blue Team. funnyman2u is a brother captain, a durable hero with your objects cannot be suppressed with powerful disruption and support fighting in melee. Alongside, Triumph with a Techmarine starts off in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair, got some Ultramarines. Rounding off the blue team though is Draft with a Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines, generally quite pissed off as well. On the red team, Phate with a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat, some powerful disruption and supports. Destructor misses. Alongside, Fear with a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and destructive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control, got some Black Legion. And rounding off the teams, wikkyd with a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support, fighting in melee begins with a Refractor Shield. This is the Death Core of Krieg DLC. Up against Orks on this east side, pushing all the way through to the natural power there. There's a natural power the other end beside the natural victory point of the red team. It is even tougher to hold those VPs though. I did design this map wanting it to be frantic and very difficult to hold the powers. We'll see how these guys do. Warlock's got through into the VP on the northwest corner. And brother captain trying to chase around Guardians, popping off those Stormbolter shots. What do we got then? Howling Banshees up for Phate, already running away. Double shooters for Draft, already running away. The Warboss should be able to get this decap here from this victory point. Sentinel firing away, but won't be able to finish him. And off he goes. More Heretics for Fear, capping that central victory point, and Rangers on the way for Phate. What did I just hear? A shotgun blast, I think. Does Triumph has shotguns? Yes, they do. Just shotgun blasted some Chaos Space Marines out of there. Now they're on the Heretics. And this is not a good approach for the Heretics. Oh, there's some help coming in. Doom Bolts. Oh, a nasty Doom Bolts on those Marines. Takes out one of them. More Heretics following in too. Now we get some Bolter Fire from the Techmarine to kill some stuff. Sorcerer consumes one. Might unleash another Doom Bolt onto the Orks here. Maybe that blob of shooters. Got the Lord Commissar with a power sword up already. Gives him a power weapon and lead by example. Boosting his speed and giving him inspiration on special attack hits. Looters on the field for Draft. So they probably haven't upgraded anything yet. Oh, they got big shooters in. More big shooters on the way for those fellas too. Techmarine gets to the mid. Scouts get a sergeant. And here's a second scout squad. Little bit late with that second scout squad. Did they build a bunch of power? That's Funnyman's power. Triumph did build 2 gens here. Might get a big 2v2 fight on the east. At the moment it's 2 versus Draft. Looters though using hide the guns. Look at the DPS now on that Lord Commissar. Raptors jumping in from Fear. They should get rid of those looters. The shooters need to turn around and suppress the Raptors. There we go. Using aim-in. What's that? Looks like we have the Sword of Flame. Coruscating Flame actually put on the Guardsman there. Typically in that scenario, I think he put it on himself and run into some melee, or maybe on his own Raptors. Trying to be helpful. Sentinel took a lot of damage but does remain up. And these shooter boys, I believe, are going to wipe after the Raptor jump. There we go. The Warboss also went down. Triumph has shown up to help. A little bit late to save the Warboss, but they can revive him. And they've got double shotgun scouts with sergeants now. Alongside those tactical Marines, I do not see an attempt to get tactical Marine Flamer going. Over on the west side, Howling Banshees with the aspect of strength. And that was the grenade from the Stormtrooper Sergeant. And it's double Rangers here for Phate. Getting shots now on the Strat Squad. They have their Tomes of Titan. Then we just saw Energy Burst on those Banshees. And they're going to get chopped up. Bulwark goes up too from the brother captain. I believe it's 35% damage resistance to melee. And a 15% melee damage boost. I believe that's what it is. Pretty good fire and forget buff that you can throw on stuff to run into those Banshees, for example. Catachan Devils on the field for wikkyd. Kicking off on the east side. Doom Bolts flying in. and grenade launcher heretics. In fact, double grenade launcher heretics. That could be a big problem for those shooter boys. Draft looters did survive, and they replaced the shooter boys that they lost. Have they been upgraded already? They have. They got big shooters already. Here comes Triumph. Shotgun blast from the Catechins, though, keeps them at bay. Scouts trying to get in there. We saw the shotgun blast into a grenade on the guardsman earlier when they had Coruscant Flame up, so maybe we'll see some more of that combo. Raptors jumping in. Sluggers are there. No burners, but that is a Bang Bang Hammer Warboss buffing allies on hit. Pretty fearsome melee weapon in its own right too. 75 DPS. And he also likes to kick you when he's got it, which I like. Sentinel stomps him though. And he's going to have to run off. This is too much stuff to deal with, Mr. Warboss. Techmarine's here now to help out. Has Bionics, that's why he's running in here. To get that powerful sweep. Just charged headlong at the heretics. Maybe that means we're going to see a melee Techmarine in tier 2, which will be fun. On the west side, pressure from Phate on the brother captain, who's got a Rhino on the way, funnyman2u. I don't think they got any other units up in tier 1, which is why they've been under so much pressure here. Double ranger shots on the brother captain's painful. Should have popped We Are the Hammer to try and walk through this, but probably wouldn't have helped that much. Banshees now with some power melee kicks of their own, trying to get him out of there. War shout in on the stormtroopers. Did we see their grenade? I think that's why the Banshees took a strange route there. They were expecting a grenade to dodge. Back to the mid. Raptors jumping through. They have that cacophony effect when they land, which suppresses enemies. And they might eat a grenade here. Sneaky scouts. Being sneaky. Getting nice and close so it's harder to dodge. There's the grenade. Does not get a model, but did hit pretty flush there. They do get a model with their grenades. The Tacks did not pop their Kraken bolts. Might have got another model with them up, you know. Maybe it was on cooldown. Not sure what the cooldown is for Kraken bolts. Tier 2s all around. Draft is going to be the last player to go. Some dead Orks on the east. Almost a level 2 Sorcerer. Back to the west side, we have a heavy bolter turret bolted to the back of this Rhino. That pintle mounted storm bolter on the front as well. I think it's 55, yeah, 55 DPS and 20 for the storm bolter. It's quite a lot if they're shooting at the same target. Need to be facing forward though, because the pintle mounted storm bolter can't spin all the way around like the other one can, like the heavy bolter can. Lord Commissar hits level 2. Doing some decent work with that power. So this double Rhino time for Funnyman. Probably a las cannon for the second one. Triumph with a librarian on the way. Nothing was queued up for Phate. I wonder if this is Fat E. There used to be a player called Fat E. It was spelled like this, but they used an uppercase E. It must be a different player, surely. Rhino chased things into base. You can reinforce off this thing and jump inside and stuff. It wasn't the case before when that used to be a tier 1 unit, the Rhino. Which is kind of odd. But I guess it was taking after the Sentinel. 377 to 402. Techmarine has indeed got the melee going on. Axe of the Mechanicum. 55 power melee DPS gives him some more melee skill and some more health. And that was powerful sweep to knock back the Sorcerer. Needs to run away though soon. Mr. Techmarine, there you go. Stubbornness in for the Lord Commissar. Makes him a massive pain in the ass to deal with. Getting heals and a damage bonus for surrounding allies. 10.5% every bunch of seconds depending on how many fellas are around him. And a massive damage boost potentially. Look at that, up to 40% if there's 30 fellas around him. That's quite nuts. Double fire dragons here for Phate to fight the double rhinos, and inquisitorial operatives for funnyman2u. It is indeed a las cannon on the second one. Anti-vehicle weapon. Twin linked. Got the fire dragons here with their Exarch. He gets this, I think it's got a fire pike. That really long looking fusion gun type thing. This is Fear showing up to help their Eldar allies. Not sure how they plan to do so. Oh, they got some Mark of Corn Chaos Space Marines. They can really throw a spanner in your works if you're fighting a Chaos player, dealing with their stuff, when all of a sudden you have a pretty fearsome melee unit in your face. The brother captain goes down there, especially if they already have tier 2 stuff out and they didn't get bloodletters or anything. All of a sudden these guys are running at you with chain axes. Their aspiring champion gets a melter pistol, which is handy. Plague Marines on the field now for Fear to help against these double rhinos, I suppose. Fire Dragons going after them. Rear armor hits. Now some front armor hits. Can they get it done? Maybe. Very, very close. And they did. If funnyman2u just kept that thing moving, I think it would have got away. Just like order it back to base, basically. Techmarine level 3, starting to rack up some XP with this axe now. Doing some good work against those Chaos Space Marines. Also has a Librarian with a power weapon of his own. And fancy special attacks like that. That's some pretty impressive knockback strength there. Plague Marine's getting shots on the other Rhino. funnyman2u needs to be careful not to lose them both in quick succession here. Trying to get repairs in with the Stormtroopers. Warlock with no war gear here. Lord Commissar's down, but they were trying to get the flak jacket for Inspire Terror. And the Techmarine completes the typical melee build with the refractor field to give him a shield, and down goes the Rhino. funnyman2u had it so far forward, knowing that there were double Fire Dragons and Plague Marines. That was kind of suicidal to have your vehicle that far up, even a relatively mobile one like a Rhino. Wartuck jumped in. Vinci, oh, down go the Stormtroopers. Bad engagement for Funnyman. Seen a lot of Wartucks recently, which I like. Triumph now capping Red Team's natural on the southeast. Red Team kind of far behind on map, but funnyman2u just had a really rough fight, so maybe they can come back in. Stone Guard veterans are up for Triumph here. First Company Marines that can change their ammo to combat all targets, and they get some scopes on their bolt guns. They have a Blood Crusher to deal with. They should be switching to Vengeance rounds to shoot it, which they may be doing now. There we go. Vengeance rounds loaded in. Mark of Corn CSM are going after him though. Blood Crusher meanwhile is chopping up and stabbing and biting at that Techmarine. There's Veil of Time up on the Stone Guard, helping them escape danger, and Shotgun Blast comes in. Stick Bombers on the field for draft. They're actually decent melee combatants. They should be going in on those CSM, I think. The Stone Guard switching to Kraken Bolts to combat heavy infantry, but here comes that Blood Crusher again. That thing has like 90 odd heavy melee DPS. Vehicle armor. No melee resistance though. So if the Warboss gets the claw or something, you can scythe through it pretty nicely. Dark Flames on the garrison, that's nasty. Global ability of the Sorcerer. A very strange retreat from the Stone Guard because he used the demonic roar thing to split them up. And kills another. That's alright. Only got away with 2 models there, the Stone Guard. We got some Assault Squad now on the field for Triumph. What's going on west side? Double Rangers continue to be a massive pain in the ass. And now double Fire Dragons doing their thing, of course. funnyman2u is in tier 3. What do they do here? Do you get Paladins against this? The brother captain losing all sense of what is going on and gets shot to death. Left idle. Vortox back at base has her power melee Executioner Spear. Oh, I didn't realise the Banshees went down at some point. I think it was when the Rhino first came out on that western edge. And then they got chased back while they retreated or something. Because I saw some Banshee bodies over there. Looted tank on the field now for draft in tier 3. Has some Gretchens to help repair it. You can specialise these guys with an upgrade, but they don't have it yet. The Warboss still with just the hammer. Chaos Sorcerer doom bolting. Continues to be pretty cool in tier 3 even. Well, he's still tier 2. Plague Marine's getting that snaring missile launcher on the looted tank. Blood Crusher goes after it. Oh, it's in a bit of trouble here. Warboss trying to go after the Blood Crusher. He can't do too much with his regular melee hammer though. And down goes the looted tank. Did not last long. It was actually the Sentinel coming in with a missile shot. A crack missile. 366 to 227. Red team hitting back quite hard. Blue team still have the mid. Is that Triumph? There's Triumph swarming around it there. Oh no, the Raptors wiped it. Oh look, you can see them on the VP. They had their aspiring champion and everything. I completely missed that. Shrine of Tzeentch in the mid, if I can speak properly. Shrine of Tzeentch shoots out these doom bolts. Shoots them out more often if you're worshipping. I don't think they do more damage if you're worshipping. You get more of them. There's a circle of summoning, spawning bloodletters from the Sorcerer. One of his globals also allows you to reinforce a which is cool. 366 to 199. Oh, I don't think they're worshipping the shrine. I think they're just worshipping. That's why we see this infiltration here. Another looted tank on the way for draft. funnyman2u with a Warhammer Razorback. Really, against double fire dragons. We'll see how it does, I guess. Ortok has her shield up now as well. Techmarine now level 5. Assault squad with their Sergeant and Thunder and Lightning for the Melter Bomb. Also gives you blind grenades, but I can't remember the last time I remember a blind grenade being used. Typically they spend all their energy jumping and using Melter Bombs. But it's a nice option to have. Gonna get a full bash at least, the blue team here. Red team back on that central VP though. And we might see a bit of a flank by Fear. Blood Crusher coming in. Let's bulwark up on the assault squad. Which is a cool way to use that. Level 2 Brother Captain trying to get a decap. Doesn't want to die needlessly though. And retreats out. Warlock's level 2. Still no war gear. Goes tier 3. wikkyd still is in tier 3 as well. And all of the blue team are tier 3. Triumph only just went though. There's that second looted tank. Sentinel's going after it, you know. Taking shots as it does so. Looted tank getting itself in a really strange spot. And that's a rear armor hit right there. Sentinel only has heavy infantry armor though. So even those... what would they be called? Bolt guns, I guess. On the side of the tank there. Doing some good damage to the Sentinel. Big melee fight in the mid. What level are these guys? Level 2 Chaos Space Marines. And you can give them Coruscating Flame with the Sword of Flame. Uh-oh. Bad news for the Sorcerer, getting his energy drained by the axe. And smacked around here. He's going to go down, I think. Yep. Lots of power melee on his face there. Correction, still no upgrades for these guys. Not sure what their DPS numbers are, but they must be pretty bad. Pretty bad. 352 to 171 on the VPs. Eldar trying to push the west side again, but we have double Warhammer Razorback now. Warlock maybe could get Falchu's Wing to buff the fire dragons. No sign of it yet. Here comes Brother Captain to run interference, put pressure on, so those fire dragons can't push up and do their thing. And there's Immortal from the Holy Armor of Titan. 352 to 171. I need to turn the fan on because it's a furnace in London again. There we go. Power bashing. More Warhammer Razorbacks, I guess, is one way to do it. These guys now getting their Hunter Killer missiles, which also gives them 100 hit points, I think. They've got really good speed, though. I think it's like 7.5 speed on those fellas, yep. 100 hit points, and a nifty Hunter Killer missile. Kicking off on the east side. Stubbornness Lord Commissar against a Warboss. He's got that flak jacket up now. Triumph has done a pretty good job. Well, they both have, Triumph and Fear, supporting both sides. Being a very fluid game. Lehman Russ up now for wikkyd in its default state at the moment, which is a big old effective tank still. You can give it some pretty awesome weapon upgrades. Stun bombs into stick bombs. No anti-vehicle though to pressure the Leman Russ. Kicking off in the mid. Vanguard veterans with a fist up. But they are getting messed up. Chaos Space Marines and a Blood Crusher in there. Oh, but maybe the Chaos Space Marines are going to wipe. And they did wipe. I think it was actually shotguns that finished them off. A Rocks up on the staircase that I almost missed. It forced off a bunch of wikkyd stuff. I don't think it killed anything though. Now red team capping the mid back. 344 to 139. They have some VPs to make up, that's for sure. Chaos Predator on the way now for Fear, and a Loyalist Predator on the way for Triumph. Lake Marines doing their thing. Couple more shots and they'll have that Vortum Razor, but they can't quite catch it though. Might get a rear armor hit. I don't think they're quite close enough to launch the attack. Maybe they could get the VP though. Double now for red team. Oh, not for long. Warboss gets a decap. Levels up to 4 this guy. Misfire there from the Leman Russ. There's some stun bombs. And they do stun vehicles. I think it's like 2 seconds of a stun or something like that. Hey, commando knob. Or rather a commando squad with a commando knob in there. They have a rocket launcher and lots of Daka. Here comes the Lord Commissar. He's not happy about his tank being shot at. But now he can't see them because they're not firing. Shooters might want to just back off. Oh, maybe they can finish off the Catachans. If those guys were closer, I think they would have finished them. Commandos ran off. Shooters run off. It's a decent push from Draft, I think. Oh wow, rocket run in the mid. And an orbital. Oh boy. Looks like Triumph, unless that's funnyman2u's orbital. Either way, an allied player was caught pretty badly in it. I'm not sure whose orbital that was, but I guess the Vanguard made it out. Maybe the scouts didn't. Another Vortum Razorback on the way for funnyman2u. And they've got some more Inquisitorial Stormtroopers to help with repairs and stuff, I guess. Rangers continue to be massive pains in the arse. Almost level 3 though. Where's that Warlock? He's down. 309 to 107. Single cap here for blue. Nobody's really even tried to stabilize in the mid. It's lots of flank pushes and then just occasional scraps and caps in the mid. Baneblade on the way for wikkyd. Third Vortum Razorback still coming up for funnyman2u. Can they bash power again with them? Oh, no, they've got to face a fire prism. Which they might be able to do, actually. If they're aggressive and go after it. They're also, yeah, level 2 with Hunter Killer missiles. They could take out that fire prism pretty quickly. 296 to 102. Double commandos now. For Draft, gave up on the tanks, I guess. Warboss, oh, can't quite get the decap. Pathogens knock him off it. Commandos running in for... Oh, they wanted to do some Love the Daka burner bomb shenanigans, I think. But they got scared off by this flare. Maybe they thought it was a Manticore strike. Lord Commissar now has Fist of Brockus. Or maybe it was just the Commissar running in there that they didn't like. And they push through now. Maybe bash this power of the blue team. Kicking off on the west side. There's the triple Vortum Razorbacks. While the captain just standing in a bunch of green crap. What is that? Oh, it's a Nurgle tank, I guess. Mark of Nurgle Chaos Pred. While the captain's got the Nemesis Demon Hammer. Not entirely sure why. Typically you'd see this against melee infantry for the demolishing strike. But we don't really see that on the red team at the moment. We have some Chaos Terminators, that's what we have. 291 to 102. Decapped mid, here comes the Techmarine. What level is it now? Level 7. This guy has been pretty badass. Tank is just waiting back there. Going for las cannon to try and combat the Leman Russ. Here comes some potentially flanking commandos. They could get rear armor hits on Leman Russ here. Oh, that was Orbs of the Omnissiah. before the Techmarine died, they got it out. The commandos aren't taking advantage of it. The Commissar could tie up one of them at least. Here's the Baneblade, ready to roll in the mid. They got a bunch of vehicles here actually. Leman Russ, Chaos Pred, and a Baneblade, and the Sentinel, which has been superb up to level 3 this thing. Almost maxed out at level 4. Shooters on the VP. The commandos don't seem to be doing that much. They kind of run forward, get into a bad position and run away. Warboss now has a Power Claw and heavy armor, so he's up almost at 2,000 hit points here, level 4. Still kicking off in the mid. Holy Armor of Titan. Brother Captain gets the revive, levels to 5. And there's another orbital. That time it was definitely funnyman2u, I think. So maybe that first one was Triumph. And he just hit his own stuff with it. A decent orbital. Where is it? Did it even wipe anything? I'm not sure. Chaos Terminators with no upgrades yet for Fear. He's got tons of requisition. Struggling to keep the power in. Draft with another commando knob. Or commando squad, I should say. What is their pop like? They can get the knob as well. There's the Hunter Killer. Yeah, down goes the Fire Prism. That was a bad pull against triple Vortimers with Hunter Killers, even against 2 of them. They would take it out pretty quick. Triple cap now for red. Strike Squad will get this VP back. These Vortimers need to start doing stuff in the mid though. Speaking of the mid, 2 Predator tanks for Triumph. Librarian thinks about the VP, thinks again when they see a Baneblade. Las Cannon is there, but can't quite get shots on the Baneblade. I don't think he can see them. You can see the Terminators though, who now have Lightning Claws. There's the Orbs of the Omnissiah. Can anything follow it up? There's the Commandos. Guys. Here we go. And they're going after the Baneblade, I think. Decent hits from the Sentinel in there. Vanguard Veterans maybe will jump on it. They do have the Fist. Lightning Claw Terminators are tearing through them. They have got pretty low though. Tank's getting a lot of shots on them. Looks like the Warboss is on that natural VP of the red team again. Indeed they are. But couldn't finish the cap. Got guardsmen with their Commissar and stuff up to level 3 so they can break their own retreats. Warboss should be going after the Catechins, I think. Bit more valuable to be picking through than a 12 model guardsman squad that can reinforce so quickly and so cheaply. 158 to 98 on the VPs. Lord Commissar clinging onto life at level 4. I guess he can throw the shield up if he gets into trouble. Warboss gets away. What's going on west side? The Razorbacks are still here. I think you need to help in the mid or try to flank in on the Baneblade or something. I mean, it's not going to be easy because there's a tank here and 2 tanks, a Leman Russ included. Still no upgrade to that Leman Russ though. What is wikkyd up to? They have tons of resources. Back to the mid. Ooh, Stone Guard getting destroyed by the Demolisher Cannon. Need to run, fellas. Yeah, get the hell out of there. Techmarine has now got a melter gun to try and go directly after these vehicles. And here's the Commandos again. Can they do something this time? There we go. Triple rear armor rockets on the Chaos Pred. It's a Nurgle tank, so it's tough as hell. It's not getting repair support though, and it goes down. I wonder if they could have repaired that out. Look at this little push from the Predators. Couldn't do much with it. Oh, maybe they can get a cap with it. Not sure if the Librarian can pull this off though. Demolisher Cannon goes in, but the Demolisher tends to knock you straight upwards, which doesn't knock you off a cap. Oh, that was Inspired Terror to finish off the Librarian there. Nice quick thinking from wikkyd. funnyman2u got some Grey Knight Terminators on the way. There's an Eldritch Storm. Kills one of the Vortimer Razorbacks, but the others are relatively unscathed. So one destroyed, and I think it was a leveled up one too. It was probably at least level 2, that thing. But the captain tearing through some Fire Dragons. Level 3 Fire Dragons. See a council up now. And he just wiped out some Stormtroopers, so there goes your repair support. Although Triumph seems to have popped the blessing of the Omnisci here. Yep. Global ability of the Techmarine back to the mid. Down goes the Sentinel. Aimblade's done a really good job holding, but I think blue team are finally going to get this VP wrapped up. There we go. They have indeed capped it. Techmarine has the refractor field up, so can't throw the orb. Down goes one of the tanks. Plague Marine's getting it done. Plague Marine's always get it done. Warboss is now up over 2,000 hit points. Caught in the Chains of Torment there. Thanks to the Sorcerer, who's level 7. Lieutenant's getting a few hits, but doesn't really have much support. Back to the west side. Sneaky Rangers being sneaky. Ork still in play. She has her fusion gun. Don't think she can solo the Vortimers super effectively though. Gonna need to jump away from here. Maybe. Here comes some support. See a council with a model less will still tear through Strike Squad. And the mid turns red again. Maybe. I see a Manticore on the way for wikkyd. That could do a lot of work. And Fear, with all of the Plague Marines all of a sudden. The roster actually bugged out there for a second. It said he had 5. He's got 4 Plague Marine squads though. Alrighty then. I approve. 126 to 90. And here are the Grey Knight Terminators. They have the Incinerator equipped. They've been hyper focused on this west side here. funnyman2u. I guess they're protecting their own VP, that's why. Because Phate can get on it so quickly. 112 to 90 on the VPs. What is this? Oh, it's Orks. Of course it is. Warboss on that VP now. Stuns the Terminators. Again, chuck some bombs at them, which will probably only piss them off a bit. Ah, but the Kasrkin are in with their constantly disrupted grenade launchers here. Did they just teleport in? I think they used their teleport, the Terminators. And they just finished off the Stick Bombers, I think. Yep, Stick Bombers are gone. There's a Manticore strike. First one I've seen. All of that demoralization because the Terminators are chopping through stuff. There is marked target on them though. And the Techmarine level 9 just switched back to a melter gun, but he seems to still be in melee stance. Terminators teleport. Oh, warped out to the mid by the Sorcerer. 87 to 90. Triumph on this VP now and gets it with some fast capping Stone Guard. There's the 2 to 1. VP's evened up, 87 apiece. Oh, the Razorbacks going mid now. funnyman2u seems to be going mid. They have done to be fair, they've done a great job defending that VP since they got these Razorbacks up. They haven't gone mid very much, but they've held their VP decently well. Lots of damage on the brother captain's face. Can't get the decap. 87-71. There's a Chains of Torment again. Annoying the Warboss. Stone Guard pushing up really far. Oh. It's because they got the Leman Russ, I think. Rocks coming in. That's one way to clear a victory point. With all these Plague Marines here. Warboss chops one in half. He's now level 6, this guy. 87 to 70. Single cap for blue. Who's capping mid? Nobody right now. Baneblade is basically sat here. He's taking las cannon shots. Great Knight Terminators go after the Seer Council. They have an upgrade that gives them 25% more damage to demons, I think. I think it also drains energy, which is what we saw there on the Seer Council. 87 to 61. Some Loyalist Terminators on the field for Triumph, and they have Cyclone Missile Launcher. Another Demon Rush on the way for wikkyd. See what these Vortimers can do. They can take Plague Marine shots, that's what they can do. Lord Commissar level 6. Getting Vanguard Veteran. There's the Cyclone Missile Launcher. Oh, there's the remains of the Demon Russ. I don't know what destroyed back there then. Maybe there were 2 Manticores or something. 87 to 61. Orbital. All 3 beams on those Plague Marines, I think. It did decently well against them. Draft with only triple commandos now. It could still be super effective. Trying to split them up. Oh, these guys don't have their Nob Leader, so they don't have a rocket launcher. The mid turns red. Heroic Guardsman getting the cap there. Is that Subjugated Terminators? It is Subjugated Terminators. Sorcerer level 7, by the way. I wonder if that Techmarine's level 10 yet. Nope, still level 9. Circle of Summoning in the mid to add to the mayhem. Single cap for red. What is this? It's Eldar pressuring your VP. They have power melee weapons, so they can't really threaten vehicles super well. Here's Holocaust from the Terminators. Throws you into the air. Chopping up those Seer Council, and Fire Dragons can't really stay around. Back to the mid then. It is a no cap. Here comes Noise Marines. Some Chaos Terminators going to stand here and guard that VP. 4 Commando squads on the field for draft. And here comes a Land Raider Crusader now. There we go, Techmarine levels to 10. Getting his Orbs of the Omnissiah back. And here's that second Leman Russ. Oh, Subjugated Vanguard Veterans got into trouble. Now they have no energy to jump out. They're not really threatened by melee stuff here though, anyway. Brother Captain with a fantastic special attack on the mid. Level 8, this fella. With Immortal up, trying to get a cap with it. Down goes the Vortimer. Plague Marines doing their thing. Here come the Commandos. Can they get onto the Baneblade though? Absolute mayhem in the mid. Autark is now chasing the other Vortimer, as you can see in the background. Baneblade getting some desperate repairs from Double Guardsman. And it's settled into a red cap on the mid, I think. Commandos are still here. All have their commando knobs with the rockets. Are they waiting for backup before they start unleashing? And they are. Nope, they can't wait any longer. They're Orks. Yeah, they should try to shoot and move. Shoot the rockets and move because of demolisher cannons like that. Ouch. Did some good damage to it. But they couldn't take everything on. Could have maybe got another rocket shot in. There's the Land Raider Crusader. They're at 25 to 61 on the VPs. Crusader has Hurricane Bolters on the side sponsons, allows you to reinforce off it with energy and health regen. Not to mention a Multi-Melter and a Twin Knit Assault Cannon. Down goes the other Vortimer. Both of those Razorbacks are gone. Paladins. Oh, they just got subjugated. There they are. These guys unique to the Brother Captain. Using their teleport. Getting them into trouble. Oh, a double cap at the end wins it. Librarian just got those Paladins out of trouble. But the red team get it with a double. What a game. Close as hell. Brother Captain was level 8 at the end. He had a level 10 Techmarine was all over the place. Triumph supporting both sides, pushing the mid, pushing both sides. A bunch of war gear that was all used pretty well. Level 6 Warboss for draft. Didn't use the commandos super well. I mean, he had some good moments, but I think they could have done a little bit more work maybe. It's not easy to time their little pushes though alongside your allies. Level 4 Warlock, constantly pressuring the west side. Did he ever get any war gear, I wonder? A level 7 Sorcerer with lots of Sorceress deeds. And a solid Lord Commissar level 6 here with that Fist of Brockets. There you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.